What are you bringing to the Commonwealth, and what are you taking from it? What Togo is offering?
Togo in Togo you have the only deep port in Togo, in West African region. Maritime port. If you see the West African region, the Gulf of Guinea, Togolese port is the only deep port in the region. So Togo is like the gate of West Africa. And Togo is right now the hub, for example, the hub for bank, most of the most important bank, for example, in Africa. The headquarter is in Lomé. We have one of the best airlines company in Togo. From Togo, you can reach all West African or all Central African countries. So Togo is the position, the geographical position of Togo is very nice to the business, for example, if you come in West African region.
A Francophone country, Togo,
yes,
is the official language that is French. Why did you decide as a Francophone country to join the English-speaking community?
So in Togo you have Francophone, French-speaking people, and we have also, English, English-speaking people. Secondly, why we decide to become a member of Commonwealth. Commonwealth, as I told you, is a very big diplomatic network in the world. So as a member of a new member of Commonwealth, of course, we need to diversify our cooperation with other countries in the world, and of course we share our values with 55 members of Commonwealth. And in terms of business, you have a lot of opportunities in Togo. So I invite you to come in Togo with a businessman.
In terms of opportunities for both sides, what do you expect from the new king?
Business. I think business is very important because right now in Togo, the new vision of Togolese diplomacy is economic diplomacy. So as I told you, I think we need to talk on specifically about business between Togo and the UK is what is more important for us. We need to build a new partnership between UK and Togo.
The security issue in the West African region, in terms of region, how do you think is the best way to tackle and to fight against this GIG threat?
It's a difficult question, but I think myself, of course, we need to maintain the military response against the terrorism and jihadists in the region. But it's my own vision. My own vision, I think we need also to find the way to make a political dialogue with them. For me, it's very important. We need two things. We need a military response and a political dialogue. We need to keep in touch, to try to have to keep in touch with them, to understand very well why they decide, for example, to attack.
You mean the GIG group?
Yes, yes. It's my own vision.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we can do it. But I think we need to have a political dialogue with them. You can see the example from the country like Mauritania or like Algeria. Of course, the first response against the terrorism during the terrorism attack in Algeria and Mauritania was the military response. But after the military response, they opened the political dialogue with the chief of a terrorism group. That's why I think only if we try to dominate them by the force is not. Is my own view. I'm very clear here. It's not maybe the good approach. The approach have to be military response and political dialogue. So in Algeria, after the dark situation, it was in 1919.
Yeah,
Look at now, the situation is under the control. In Mauritania also. So when I discuss with my friends from Algeria or from Mauritania, the possibility to open the political dialogue with them is very clear. I say political dialogue. I don't talk about negotiation. We don't need to share, for example, the big compromise with them, but it's a political dialogue to understand them and to try to see how we can, work together with them. And he decided to work for peace in the countries.
Yeah. Do you think that West African countries have enough resources in terms of in terms of military approach and also financial to fight the jihadi group? Are you enough?
I think we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice for the peace for all our countries and our population. What we have to do now is, we are working for our population, for the countries also. So we need to protect our resources, and of course to let the people have the benefits from the resources. So I know it's difficult. It's very difficult, and it's West African. West African is a region. It's not each country have its politics. So I think for each our country and for the region, of course, we need to have one voice. But it's very difficult to have one voice. But life is like that. It's not me. It's not you. And the second thing is we need to have a good politics in each country. But if you have a problem in your country and I have a problem in your country, we need to talk together. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not easy. So it's a reality, of course, of our region also. It's not only in the West African region, we have the same situation in all on African continent, maybe here also in Europe, humanly like that, so we can change something.
Mali has requested Wagner group to come and help them fight against those groups. What do you make of Mali or various African countries requesting Wagner to come and help them for security reasons?
Another difficult question. Be sure we don't have Wagner in Togo. So I don't want to talk, about each country decision. But Wagner is Wagner. We don't work with Wagner. Is a little bit like what I told you. We are adults. We are free to take our own decision. You have to know as a partner. So, of course, we need to work with a strong partner. We work with a state, I don't want to talk about Wagner. So,
in December, the ECOWAS had a meeting in Lagos, and you decided to create what you call anti-putsch force to fight juntas or military taking power. Why is that important? What are you going to do with that force, Mr. Dusseh?
Yes, it was a proposal from the head of state, but we decided to have that forces already. It's just because look at only in the West African region we have from 2018 and until today we have 3 coup d'etat in the region. So
military coup, yeah.
3 coups. So the head of state decided to have that force, but that force is not only the force against coup d'etat, it's a force against coup d'etat and force against to fight against terrorism also.
Okay.
Yeah, but in theory we have that force, but wait and see. I think we need to to move from military, government to civil government is very important. So our focus right now is to push all the transition regime, of course, to go to the civil election, to go to the normal election, and of course, maybe after the election, we can have a normal situation in the region. But it's normal for the head of state to push everyone, to push all the regimes in the region to work for democracy.
It's easy today just to come up with a force to fight military juntas or military taking power. But what do you do, for instance, if a head of state is trying to change the constitution to run for another term? If you take, for instance, Guinea, one of the reason, the military, they said one of the reasons was because Alpha Condé changed the constitution. In the past, your country, Togo, also, the people accused President Faure of changing the constitution. Recently, in Ivory Coast, people also accused President Ouattara. What does ECOWAS do when it comes to countries or leaders trying to change the constitution to run for another term? Because it seems like you're not vocal. We don't hear about you when these things happen.
No, it's a very difficult question. First of all, you have to know it's not the role of ECOWAS to regulate the constitution in the country. ECOWAS is a regional community. ECOWAS doesn't have the intra-states, for example, constitution. So when we talk about the constitution for each country. So I can't say why the Ivorian leaders decide to change the constitution in their country. So the realities is not the same. The reality, for example, in Togo, in Ghana, in Côte d'Ivoire, in Guinea is not the same reality. It's very difficult to say, okay, he changed the constitution, or maybe because he changed the constitution, is a wrong way. It's very difficult. But what is very important for our country is, the population have to recognize themselves in the constitution. If the constitution of my country, as Togo, is a constitution what the people of Togo, the Togolese population decide, why not? It's the constitution of my country. But be sure, for example, in Togo, the president Faure Gnassingbé, he never changed the constitution. It's not the president Faure Gnassingbé. The constitution was changed before he became the president. So please not confuse the situation in Togo and in another countries in our region.